views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Do you need assistance in discovering what you truly want in your life? Are you feeling unhappy and stuck and are clueless how to change that heavy feeling? The Laura Longley Show delivers powerful ways to work through common problems and stuck points. This fun and unique weekly show invites some of the most creative and transformative practitioners and authors, hypnotherapists, EFT practitioners, acupuncturists, and astrologers, among others, to activate your wildest dreams. Get ready to tune in to be more of who you truly are. Laura and her guests will take your calls and help you bring your brilliance to a greater brightness. Get ready to snap to a whole new level in your life with joy leading the way. Say yes to that inspired you and goodbye to your stuckness for good. Now, here is your host, Laura Longley.
Good afternoon. I'm Laura Longley from The Laura Longley Show on Transformation Talk Radio, and today I'm filling in for Dr. Pat as she gets a much-deserved break. Stay with us for the next hour and let us help you experience ways to get unstuck and live an inspired life full of meaning and purpose and happiness. Each week on The Laura Longley Show, we have some of the most gifted practitioners, speakers, and authors helping you to make authentic and lasting changes in your life. My guest today is Sue Elliott, editor-in-chief of Law of Attraction magazine and the creator of Heartfelt Holidays, and we'll be talking about how to get more peace, ease, and joy into your holidays. And Sue will also take your calls and help you with clearing issues that may be plaguing you around the holidays or not. But first, I want to let you know I have a new report that you can get for free on my website that is the top 5 ways to get unstuck right now. So you can either go to thelauralongleyshow.com or yourauthenticwisdom.com, and you'll see that in the banner at the top of the page. And that's just been out there for about, well, not even a week yet. So if you're feeling stuck and you don't know what to do, there's 5 great tips that you can use right away to help you start making a shift in your life. And today, since I'm filling in for Dr. Pat, I'm going to do the show kind of like I do my Monday show, which is on the last 15 minutes, I'll be taking call-in for tarot readings and intuitive coaching. So if you have a problem or an issue where you'd like to get some insight through tarot or intuitive coaching, you can call in during the last 15 minutes. But also, as I mentioned, Sue is going to be taking calls throughout the show to help you with clearing issues too. So either way, you'll be calling in to the same number. And let me just give you the number now, even though we're not quite ready for calls yet. But the number, so you can write it down, is 800-930-2819. So let me just jump into introducing Sue. Our guest today is the founder and editor-in-chief of Law of Attraction magazine and the creator of Heartfelt Holidays. Sue Elliott has created all kinds of magazines over the years, including chef recipe food magazines and hot rod magazines. In 2011, she was able to combine her years of experience as a magazine editor to launch Law of Attraction magazine, a national newsstand magazine. Sue was uniquely suited to create this magazine because she spent years studying with renowned personal growth teachers. She not only can clearly share this wisdom, she also embodies what she's learned. And because of that, people have been seeking Sue out as a transformation coach for many years now. And you are going to get the advantage of that today if you call in with an issue for Sue. And Sue uses her superpower of clarity in her audio program, Heartfelt Holidays, to help people let go of their fear, dread, anxiety, and sadness around the holidays. Sue is based in Irvine, California, and she offers personal and executive coaching for individuals and groups in person and by phone, as well as workshops, teleclasses, and audio programs. Let's welcome Sue Elliott to the Laura Longley Show. Hi, Sue.
Hello, Laura.
I'm excited to have you here and talking about the holidays in particular and how we can really sit back and enjoy them instead of getting totally stressed out about it.
Oh, yes. I'm so excited to talk about that, too, because I see people stressing out all over the place right now.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like we have all these expectations that we set up. And, you know, I'm learning in my life over the past year or so And I'm embarrassed to say it's taken me 55 years to start learning this, but I'm learning that it's by letting go of expectations that we can reduce a lot of that stress.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that pretty much covers everything in every area of life, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let go of the outcome, attachment to the outcome.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
When we go in with any kind of agenda at all, we just miss out on the joy of the moment, and we miss out on the gift of what is trying to come to us.
Right, because we're looking for something else potentially, and
exactly.
then we don't see what really is there.
Yes, because there's always a beautiful gift. I truly believe that everything that is conspiring on our behalves all the time, always trying to gift to us, always trying to give us more and help us feel more joy. And when we're looking for one particular thing, we don't see the other things that are showing up as gifts.
Now, I had another guest say recently about the gifts and the opportunity that is in every situation for us, that lots of times we have to unwrap the gift in order to be able to find it, to see what it really is.
Yes, and sometimes we hate that wrapping paper that it comes from.
Yeah, exactly. Ew, I don't want this.
And that's so perfect to talk about in terms of the holidays, because we get so many gifts at this time of year that really don't look and feel like gifts on the outside.
Right. Exactly. So say a little bit about, so you've created this recording, Heartfelt Holidays, that is to help people with the stress of the holidays. And I know that when we chatted last week, your original plan had been to have this be a product that you were going to sell, but you really got guidance that you're giving it away. And so we're going to tell listeners how they can get it. But say a little bit about what drove you to create it, and then what people can expect if they get it.
Well, I felt inspired to create it because I was talking to friends and I was talking to coaching clients who were really feeling more pressure this year even than years past. And they were afraid that they were going to go into debt again, spending money on gifts that they don't have and running up credit card bills. They were afraid that they were going to gain weight again this year at the holidays. They were really dreading getting together with some members of their family or their in-laws. Or they were really, really missing people who had left their physical bodies and had passed away. And at this time of year, we're really aware of that, of people we can't hug and hold anymore. So all of this was coming up for people, and it was sort of, percolating in the back of my mind, how can I help people? And then these audios just started arriving. It struck me that people have a hard time with family, so the information for the family one came through. And it really felt like a divine download. Like, I sat down at my computer and I thought family, and it all came out, and I read through it afterwards, and I learned a bunch of things. I was like, okay, well, that didn't come out of my head. Thank you. And the same thing with all of them. There's one about parties and food. There's one about crowds and shopping. There's one about giving. There's another one about receiving. And there's one about recreating the holidays in our own way, new traditions, how we would like to feel at this time of year. It's really not about me telling you how you're supposed to feel, because I'm so not about should and supposed to and
right.
So yeah, they're clearing audios. They use a clearing statement. For many years, I used to use the Access Consciousness clearing statement, and then about 3 or 4 months ago, I was gifted with my own clearing statement. So it's a little bit different, gentle, and we clear a bunch of the stuff that's in the way, old patterns, just things that we do to ourselves to make ourselves crazy, like wanting to be in 12 places at one time so that we can see everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a good idea, is it? Because we can't divide ourselves in that way. So if people want to get the audio downloads, where do they find it?
They can find the audios, thank you for asking, on my website, which is lovingmyself.com. And if you want to go directly there, it's lovingmyself.com/holidays.
And I love the name of the website, because that is what is, should be uppermost in all of our minds all of the time.
Yeah.
And especially around the holidays. Yes. And so they're MP3 downloads?
They are. They are.
Very good.
And they're short. I know that everybody's super busy at this time of year, so the longest one is 12 minutes. They're designed to be able to listen at a coffee break or while you're getting ready in the morning or driving in your car. And there's one, actually, that's 5 minutes. That's I call it break glass in case of emergency. before you go into the dinner party at the in-laws' house, or if you have to run into the mall on Christmas Eve, listen to this first.
Yeah. Oh my God, I hate the thought of going to the mall at all, let alone on Christmas Eve. But
yes.
Oh my goodness, I would need that one just to go normally. So it's good to know that it's there. And so you mentioned that you do this clearing statement that you have been given around clearing these things out for people.
Yeah.
And that is actually what we're going to be doing as we go through the show today with callers, is letting people call in with their issues, which might be related to the holidays or might not be related to the holidays. We'll take either way, whatever is resonating for any of you who are listening right now, where you'd like to get that support from Sue through using her clearing statement. And Sue, what is it that you need them to tell you before you can apply the clearing statement?
Oh, well, it's funny. I have this really fun, now it's fun,
yes,
special skill that comes actually, I think, from being a magazine editor for all these years, where people can just come, say, this is what's up for me, and I can ask a question or two, and in like normal conversation, I just can see what's in the way of people having what they desire in life.
Wow.
It's probably all the years of, as an editor, I was really focused on word selection and sort of the rhythm and pacing, and where people pause is significant, or, the intonation with which they say things tells you a lot about what they're saying.
Well, and I know that you have a really great story where when you were first accepting that you had this gift, and I want you to tell that after we go to the break. But before we go to the break, I want to give people the number to call in so people can start calling in if they have an issue that they'd like your help with. The call-in number is 800-930-2819. And again, that's toll free, 800-930-2819. So if you have an issue that you'd like Sue to help you with, you can call in right now, and we'll start taking calls after the break. I'm Laura Longley, and you're listening to The Laura Longley Show, where I'm filling in for Dr. Pat today. And The Laura Longley Show is where authentic change takes flight. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Hey, do you like free stuff? The Dr. Pat Show has an amazing giveaway program doing weekly giveaways on Facebook and Twitter. Go to facebook.com/The Dr. Pat Show and click the like button. Then go to twitter.com/The Dr. Pat Show and click the follow button. Then you can play along and enter to win some amazing prizes. Again, that's facebook.com/The Dr. Pat Show and twitter.com/The Dr. Pat Show.
Laura Longley is on a mission to remove stuckness from your life for good and replace it with happiness. Tune in Mondays at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com for The Laura Longley Show, where authentic change takes flight. Say yes to that inspired you and goodbye to your stuckness as Laura and her guests deliver powerful ways to work through common problems in this fun and unique hit show.
Tune in each Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time, 4 Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio to Limelight Radio with Katina Makris. This is an inspirational, cutting-edge radio show educating worldwide listeners on a diversity of Lyme disease-related topics. Each week, Katina will interview some of the world's leaders in health, wellness, spirituality, and human potential. For more information, visit limelightradio.com.
Tune in each Tuesday at noon Pacific and 3 Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com for The Dr. Julie Show, All Things Connected with Dr. Julie Kroll, featuring weekly segments with David Eisen and the Chakra Sound System. Each week, you will journey through infinite possibilities, expand into social potential, and find beautiful beginnings where endings leave off. Changemakers from around the world will explore what's emergent about the environment, relationships, health, the arts, education, and the evolution of consciousness. Visit thedrjulieshow.com.
Are you tired of being bloated and nauseous? Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. Did you know eating unhealthy foods eventually leads to an unhealthy digestive system? Did you know eating the most healthy, nutritious food doesn't necessarily result in a healthy body? The stomach must be healthy in order to properly digest, metabolize, and utilize even the best of nutrition. Without proper digestion from the stomach through the intestinal tract, the nutritious value is not absorbed, and the improperly digested food can be more toxic to your body than helpful. You can be doing all the right things and getting all the wrong results. In fact, other organs may also be interfering with your stomach's ability to digest. Contact us today for your appointment at 888-777-4232. That's 888-777-4232. Or visit us at maryjanemack.com.
We're back. I'm Laura Longley, filling in for Dr. Pat Basile today. And today we're talking with Sue Elliott, who is the founder and editor-in-chief of Law of Attraction magazine and the creator of Heartfelt Holidays MP3 downloads. And Sue is going to be taking people's calls. And if you'd like to call in with an issue or problem that you're having related to the holidays or not, 800-930-2819 is the number. And before we start taking calls, Sue, I would love for you to tell people how they can find you after the show.
Oh, thank you. My website is lovingmyself.com. And you're welcome to come connect there. I have the Heartfelt Holidays audios available as my gift for you. There's also an audio there called Understanding Anger that you're welcome to come and download as a gift for you. So
Very
please,
good. Very good.
Come say hi.
Yes, and before we start taking callers, I'd also love for you to tell the story that you shared with me before about this very visual indicator that you got about this gift that you have.
Well.
Do you know the story I'm talking about?
My vision.
Well, I'm talking about the one where you went in a store with the woman with the arthritis.
Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you.
I'm glad that I reminded you.
I'm glad you reminded me, too. I was going down a different road.
Yeah.
Well, for many years, I heard you're a healer, and I would put my hands over my ears and say, la, 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 I can't hear you. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Because I was trying to be a very normal person. At the time, I was a car magazine editor, and, I was absolutely not in circles where people were hands-on healers. And and I had no idea what it was, but once in a while, I would feel absolutely overcome, and I couldn't stop myself, and I would put my hands on somebody, and my hands would get really hot, and whatever it was that was bothering them would go away, which freaked me out, of course, because I had no exposure to this at all.
Right.
And so when I first moved to the Napa Valley and I started moving out of the car world and into the food and wine world to do the food and wine magazines, I was at an event with my best friend. It was a wine tasting, and one of the women who worked at the place where the event was being held had arthritis in her finger. And so after the event, we were sitting down, chatting, getting to know each other, and she was telling the story of her life and how this arthritis in her middle finger and her right hand was stopping her from doing the things she loved. She loved to knit. She loved to crochet. And so I'm sitting on her right side. So while she's talking to my friend, I'm holding this woman's hand, and I'm just doing whatever I feel inspired to do. So, I've got my hands around her hand, and I'm kind of petting the top of her hand, and I feel something go thunk in her hand, in her finger,
Mm-hmm.
and then I look down, and my friend Jody looks down at this woman's hand, and her finger, which had been curved into a C shape, is now perfectly straight and looks like all of her other fingers. No arthritis visible. No,
wow.
The joint's not swollen. It looks perfectly normal. And Jody looks at me, and I look at Jody, and we're like, well, that was really cool. And this woman continues telling the story of how this pain and problem in her finger prevents her from doing what she loves in life, and she never notices that her finger was perfectly fine.
Wow.
5 minutes later, her finger is back to the way it had been, and she's still telling her story because she's so invested in the story. So Jody and I walk out of the event to my car, and she says to me, did you see what you did to that woman? And I was like, yeah, you saw that? She's like, yeah, I did. And so it was magical proof from the very loving universe that we're in, A, that I can do these things, that they are real, that other people see them too, and B, that only people who are ready to receive any kind of healing, which isn't even really the right word for it, but sort of returning to wholeness and well-being, people can only receive that when they're ready.
Right.
When we're so invested in our story, and it's a big part of our identity, whether that's about, having been abused as a child, not to diminish any of these things.
Right.
Everything that happens to us, we get to choose how we hold that in our space, what that means for us.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I think that is really a lovely story from both of those perspectives, and it really a great learning story for the rest of us. Also around noticing when something is different so we can let go of our story.
Yes. And also everybody can do what I do. I am not in any way special. What I do in terms of putting my hands on and healing somebody is just flowing love. You know, people ask me what I do and how I do it, and I say, I don't know, it feels like love. My hands get hot. You know? I have no idea. I don't have to know how to do it. I just
Right, exactly. You just do it. And speaking of that, I think that it'd be a great time to go to the phones. And Eric, who do we have?
We've got Stephanie on the line calling from Linwood today.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hello.
Hi. So do you have a question for Sue?
I do. I have a very hard time finding my joy, and I thought maybe I could do it with the holidays. I decorated, and still nothing. What am I blocking, or what's blocking me?
Well, when you were decorating, what was the story you were telling yourself about why you were doing the decorating for the holidays?
I was trying to recreate my not childhood, but more my young adulthood, when Christmases were good at that point in my family, and we would decorate together. then the house just felt nice, and that's what I was trying to achieve.
I love that. Thank you. That's such a beautiful example of something we all do. Absolutely. So when we do something with that idea of it used to be wonderful and I'd like to recapture that, and I haven't had that for a while, what we do from a law of attraction standpoint is we start to activate all these things. You know, we activate the remembrance of how it was that felt wonderful, but we also typically get really clear about how it has not been wonderful recently. And so we've got this kind of mixed bag, vibrationally speaking, going on. So, if we have the option to really plug into how great it felt in the holidays in years past, and when you can get to that place of really seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, just kind of immersing yourself in those memories and feeling the deliciousness of it with as many of your physical senses as you can, and then you immediately get up and decorate, you carry that energy with you into what you're doing. But when you decorate from the space of, it hasn't been so great these last few years, we activate that sort of lack of what I want energy more dramatically. So what energies do you feel more now other than joy?
I feel like I'm the outsider. I think that's the best way to put it, is I just feel like I'm the outsider in most places.
I think you just spoke for pretty much everybody who's listening to this call.
Yeah.
We are all part of that family of how did I get here, and am I really related to these people? And yeah, we don't fit in. The beauty of that is I think that all of us who have this kind of feeling of not fitting in and being an outsider, there's a reason for that, and it's because we are here on the planet right now with a very special purpose. We are way showers. We are lighthouses. We are beacons of light and love. And most people operating in, the world right now are not in that energy at all. So, of course, we feel different from them. But I would love to celebrate you and honor you first for being one of us outsiders. And would you be willing to flow that energy of what you know and light and love out into the world and allow that to magnetize to you and attract to you people who are a match to that?
Yes, and that's what I've been doing. And I haven't been attracting anybody, so that's the other part. It's like, okay, I have been sending out light and love. Am I still somewhere in that space of lack?
Yes. Well, you just brought us back to what we were talking about at the very beginning of the show, about how when we do anything with any kind of agenda, which we all do on this planet right now, we start to trigger the lack side of it or the neediness side of it. So when we give to get a gift in return, or when we, give a free coaching call to get clients, or whatever it is that we're doing in our lives, we tend to not be in the moment and not be attracting what we really desire, because we trigger other people's agendas and we all get into this weird space, which is really, really how most of us interact on the planet, not making you bad or wrong by any means.
Yeah.
But I, for one, would like to unplug from that. Would you like to unplug from that?
I would.
Okay. So everything that is, all of the ways that we have been patterned and entrained to behave in this way, where we think we need things from outside of us, we think we have to do certain things in order to get certain things, or be certain ways in order to get certain things, anything that's in the way of us simply being our magnificent selves, sitting in utter joy and contentment and truth and knowingness and feeling our own, just yummy power. Let's uncreate, delete, dissolve, and dissipate anything in the way of that. With the full support of the light, let's surrender all of those disharmonies for the greater good of all. Let's allow all of those energies to return to the light, setting us all free of them forevermore. And so it is.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, thank you. That was really delicious.
That was really delicious.
And thank you, Stephanie, for being brave enough to call in and share that. And thank you, Sue, so much for helping Stephanie and the rest of us, because you're right, the rest of us have a lot of that going on as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Ladies, have a happy holiday, and thank you for being where you are at this moment.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you,
and yes, may your holidays be filled with joy and peace and love.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Stephanie, and thank you, Sue. And boy, perfect timing, because it's time for us to go to a break again, and we are going to take more calls. Sue will be taking more calls, so if you would like to talk to Sue with your issue or problem, you can call in at 800-930-2819. And it's 800-930-2819. I'm Laura Longley, and I'm filling in for Dr. Pat today. And I'm from the Laura Longley Show, where authentic change takes flight. We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
If you're burdened down with trouble, if your nerves are wearing thin, pack your load down the road, come to Holiday.
Come alive and shine with the Alive and Shine radio show with Adil and Savitri. Widen your perspective, learn to heal yourself, and clarify your power of choice so that you feel truly alive and shine. The Alive and Shine radio show is your how-to guide for creating a life in which your dreams come true. Listen live each Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time on KKNW or at aliveandshineshow.com.
The Tick-Borne Disease Alliance, TBDA, has just launched Bite Back for a Cure, a new national grassroots campaign to build support for the fight against tick-borne diseases. This fall, 24-year-old John Donnelly is biking across America to meet others affected by tick-borne diseases and raise awareness about the national tick-borne disease epidemic. TBDA wants you to get involved in the campaign and follow John's journey. To learn more, visit bitebackforacure.org.
I'm Christine Upchurch, and this is a Stellar Reflections Minute. As a former research statistician, my scientific background is what many would call sensible. For more than a decade now, I have been working in the field of energy medicine, facilitating sessions and teaching around the world. People from the mainstream often ask me, how did a sensible woman like you end up working in such an alternative field? Implicit in their question is the underlying assumption that the field of subtle energy, such as energy healing and intuition, isn't sensible. But I believe it is very sensible. Even scientists are able to measure aspects of this. Approaching life from an energetic perspective brings us new opportunity for healing and transformation. And from a practical standpoint, even if you can't rationally explain how something works, if you experience a shift from it, then doesn't it make it pretty sensible? please visit stellarreflections.com or call 425-999-9836. That's 425-999-9836.
If not today, one day you will need chiropractic care. Before you choose one, get a copy of this special report. 5 keys to selecting the right chiropractor. Available free, and you can read it in about 6 minutes. Get the care you need, when you need it, from the right chiropractor. Visit wellness1.net or call toll-free 866-499-7509. Go to wellness1.net or call 866-499-7509.
Tune in to Intuit University, compassionate guidance connecting you to your inner wisdom with internationally renowned psychic and medium Sherry Dillard, the second and fourth Thursday each month at 12 p.m. Pacific Time and 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Get ready for an hour of practical spirituality and a fun and magic carpet ride into the spirit realm. This hit show is a combination of call-in readings and intuitive mentoring as Sherry supports and empowers you to create your best life in relationships, career, finances, life purpose, and spirituality. For more information, visit sherrydillard.com.
We're back. I'm Laura Longley, filling in for Dr. Pat today, and my guest is Sue Elliott, the founder and editor-in-chief of Law of Attraction magazine and the creator of Heartfelt Holidays. And Sue is taking calls for people that are having struggles with the holidays or other issues in their lives, and she can help them out with her clearing statement. And if you'd like to get Sue's help, you can call in at 800-930-2819. Well, Sue, so we talked a little bit at the beginning of the hour about how you came to do the Heartfelt Holidays and that it really started just being downloads for you.
Yes, it seems as if everything I write now comes as a download, just kind of arrives intact. And I had, little experiences of that when I was doing the car magazine stuff and doing the food magazines, but now it's really a whole different level where something will happen, somebody will say something, or I'll be working with a client and I'll sit with a question, just kind of gently, like, oh, I wonder what that was about. And then the next day or 2 days or 3 days later, when I'm in the shower typically,
right,
all of a sudden, like, all these sentences will start flowing through me, and as soon as I get out, I have to write it all down.
Well, that was my question about, when is it showing up for you? Is it during meditation? But I guess shower is kind of meditation.
It is. And, these audios actually just showed up by me being open. So I would sit down at my computer and say, okay, what can we share about giving to help people let go of some of the pressure and the obligation and the resentment and the stress and the perfectionism? And it would just flow through me. Like I would sit down and the words would just
come. Yeah, I love that. So were there some of them that were really more impactful for you personally?
The receiving one was. And I know you're going to ask me what it was that I said, and it's so for me that I can't even tell you. Nice reminder that I need to listen to that one again today. Yeah. But I remember, when I was just a few years ago, before I really had fully gone sort of past the point of no return down the spiritual path and recognized who I was and what I could be and what I could choose for myself, I remember being really upset by the holidays because people would give me gifts that showed me they had no idea who I was.
Right.
And I had all these stories around it, right? Like, you give me this thing and it says that you don't know who I am, or it says that you don't care enough to try and get something that I would like, or it says that you want to change me into the person who would like what you just gave me.
Yes.
So I had all these stories that felt just awful. And I think we do that to ourselves all day long. Mm-hmm. Many of us, we just tell ourselves stories about whatever is going on that do not serve us, that do not serve other people. So when I realized that was a big thing for me, that sort of came up in the audio, how we use receiving of gifts as a way to distance ourselves from other people.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yes. And to maintain that sort of outsider feeling that we were talking about a few minutes ago. You don't see me, you don't know me. Once again, I am different and outside. And so would you be willing to surrender? Can we all surrender right now?
Absolutely.
The need to distance ourselves from other people and the need to maintain that outsider feeling. It's a real protection thing.
Well, and I can tell you that it's what you were describing was resonating for me with one person in my family in particular. So, yes, I would love to do that.
Okay. So everything that is, all of the lies and every aspect of all of these patternings that's active in us right now, we're with the full support of the light, let's uncreate, delete, dissolve, and dissipate all of that. Let's surrender all of those disharmonies for the greater good of all and allow those energies to return to the earth where they can be transmuted into something of benefit for the entire planet. Ooh, yeah.
Yes.
Surrender all of that, setting us free of it forevermore. And so it is.
Yeah. Well, and as you were speaking about it too, I'm thinking about, my own situation where that was true. And knowing, really I've gotten to a place of knowing that that person really is doing the best they can, that it is not about me. And
right.
Yeah.
And that's such a wonderful point. I mean, two wonderful points, really, that I love to share with people at this time of year. First of all, if we can learn how not to take things personally, which is, one of the 4 agreements,
yes.
Don Miguel Ruiz said, don't take anything personally. It's so true. What other people are doing and saying, even when it seems to be about us, is really about them.
Mm-hmm.
This is brought home. Here's a really nice, easy example for people to get. A few years ago, I started dating a man, and I introduced him to different friends of mine. One at a time we would go to dinner together or whatever. So he met one of my friends, and she said that she really appreciated how attentive he was to me, that he seemed to really, want to make sure that I was enjoying myself and paying attention to me. And then another friend said that he was really respectful, and she really appreciated how respectful he was toward me. And another friend, had a whole different take on this guy. And what I realized afterward was that each of my friends was telling me what had been missing in her most dominant relationship
yes.
in the past, and that she liked this guy, but she was using the terms of, he's giving you what I didn't get in my relationship, and that's why I like him. And that was so incredibly helpful.
Because it isn't about you at that point or him.
Right.
It's about them.
I mean, I realized that the underlying message was, we like him.
Right.
But beyond that, it was so useful to see that whatever anybody told me about anything was completely through the filters through which they see reality, and told me much more about them than it told me about, what they thought they were talking about.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I personally have been really drawn in with the work of Byron Katie recently over the last couple of months. And I've known about it for quite a few years, but it really has resonated with me in a different way over the last couple of months. And, that's really her message, is that, there is, it's all about how we're interpreting what other people do, and it really has nothing to do with us at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And we have the option to change the story we tell ourselves
yes.
at any moment in time. So if you've been telling yourself the story that, you're alone at the holidays and nobody wants to be with you, you can change that story. You can change that story to one of choice. Because, I used to get wrapped up in loneliness too. I don't know, does this come up for you too, Laura?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I realized that when I was telling myself the I'm lonely story, which feels awful, of course.
Yes.
And then nobody wants to play with me. And,
yep.
they don't write, they don't call, they don't love me anymore.
Yeah.
That story really doesn't feel very good. However, I could tell myself the story of I have a choice. And so I would literally go through in my mind. If it was a Saturday night and I was sitting home, I would think, okay, well, I could call this person and see if they would like to get together, or I could call that person, or I could go to, my favorite local restaurant where I sit at the bar and I always find people that I know. I could go there. And I would go through a list of things that I could do. And at the end of the list, what I often found was that I chose to stay home.
Yes.
And have a very self-nurturing, relaxed evening. But once I got to that place of being home by choice, it felt utterly differently.
Yes. Yeah, I have been experiencing that recently, too, where, again, one of the things that Byron Katie says in the book that I read most recently, which is I Need Your Love, Is That True? Is if you are, by yourself, then you're supposed to be by yourself right now. If you're with someone, you're supposed to be with someone right now. I mean, it's really just accepting what is, right?
Yeah.
And once I got to where it was like, okay, it's Saturday night, and our society is like, it's Saturday night, you should be out doing something. And I just didn't want to. And I was like, okay, well, I'm at home on Saturday night because this is what I want to be doing. So similar to you, but I got there in a different way.
Yes.
And it really is so freeing to just go, oh, I'm doing this right now. Oh, well, that's because I'm choosing that.
Yes. Oh, can we do a nice general clearing for people to start untangling all of the ways that we are still buying into what society says we should be doing and when we should be doing it?
Yes, I think that would be great.
Yes. All of the ways that we're tied into, Friday night is date night and Saturday night we should be out doing something fun with other people, not sitting home, and we should be enjoying the holidays in a certain way. And this is a festive time of year, so even if you don't feel festive, you have to put on your festive face. And all of the other ways that we're still plugged into should and supposed to. Should call your mother, that kind of thing. Let's just open up a space now for all of us to surrender all of that. So, with the full support of the light, let's uncreate, delete, dissolve, and dissipate all of the lies and every aspect of all of those patternings that we are ready to surrender now. You can hang on to anything you want to hang on to. I'm not making you let go of anything you're not ready to let go of. But whatever you would like to let go of, just say, yes, I surrender it now, out loud or in your mind. And we will allow all of that to uncreate, delete, dissolve, and dissipate from your space. We're going to allow all of those disharmonies to return to the light, setting all of us free of that forevermore. Oh, and so it is.
Thank you, Sue. And this was such perfect timing because we're coming to the end of our chat together, and I think that it was such a lovely way to wrap it up. And before we say goodbye, can you share once again where people can find you and the Heartfelt Holidays downloads?
Oh, yes. I would love to connect with people. If you want to let me know how this experience was for you or if something is coming up for you, my website is lovingmyself.com. And the Heartfelt Holidays 8 audios, very short, very targeted clearings, are available as my gift to you from lovingmyself.com/holidays.
Great. Thank you so much, Sue.
Oh, thank you, Laura. What a wonderful opportunity to connect.
Yes, I loved having you here. Thank you. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, I'll take your calls for tarot readings or intuitive coaching. So if you have a problem or an issue or you want some insider guidance, then you can call in now. And remember, the tarot does not predict the future, but helps you know where to focus to get through your issue most easily. Call-in number is 800-930-2819. You can call in right now. I'm Laura Longley, filling in for Dr. Pat Basili, and you're listening to The Laura Longley Show, where authentic change takes flight. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Do you ever wonder why you feel off balance and out of focus most of your life? Would you like to have an aha moment every day? The Michelle Bond Show, Awaken to a New Reality, will empower you to feel wonderment every moment of every day. This hit show provides healthy, empowering knowledge and information which gives hope to everyone from the healthy to the health challenged. Get ready to restore and maintain your wholeness, mind, body, and spirit through learning the latest complementary and alternative healing modalities. Your new reality will introduce you to an unlimited world of possibilities with the gumption to take epic action for your life. This call-in show with wholeness coach Michelle Bond will give you insight to a wide range of topics, from nutrition to lifestyle choices to manifesting your wildest dreams. Tune in Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
Holistic Medical Center is where you find it all. A healthy space with doctors who care, see, and listen to the whole you. Hi, this is Dr. Darvish. If you have not found an answer to your chronic symptoms, you will find answers here at Holistic Medical Center. Our doctors find the root cause of your symptoms and guide your body towards healing naturally. We transform lives from within. Visit drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
Are you ready to give your home a fresh look but don't want to do the work? Help is a phone call away. Kathy's Handy is a full-service general contracting company specializing in home improvement, remodeling, and repairs. Kathy's Handy are specialists in kitchens, baths, fireplace makeovers, and finish carpentry, and they partner with other amazing specialty subcontractors needed to complete any job. Friendly, energetic, and dependable with an impeccable reputation to get the job done while keeping you as comfortable as possible during the transformation of your home is the hallmark of Kathy's Handy. Call Kathy now for a free estimate. 206-715-8126. That's 206-715-8126. And visit kathyshandy.com for a complete view of possibilities for your home.
Grateful patients have been saying it for 25 years. When in pain, see Dr. Thane. Dr. Thane of Wellness One of Bellevue has been named one of the nation's top chiropractors by the Consumers Research Council of America, and for good reason. He has helped his patients recover their energy and vitality after car accidents, sports injuries, herniated discs, fatigue due to stress, the list goes on. The website is bellevue.wellness1.net. When in pain, see Dr. Thane. That's bellevue.wellness1.net.
We're back. I'm Laura Longley, filling in for Dr. Pat today, and my guest today was Sue Elliott, the founder and editor-in-chief of Law of Attraction magazine and creator of the Heartfelt Holidays CD, or rather MP3 downloads, and you can get those at lovingmyself.com. And I am taking callers for tarot readings and intuitive guidance for the last piece of the show. If you have a problem you want some help with, you can call in at 800-930-2819. And some other ways to help you get some tools and tips with moving forward in life. You can find me on Facebook at The Laura Longley Show, and every day there we're having discussions and posting practices and tools that you can use to start getting unstuck and start making authentic change in your life. On Twitter, it's Laura Longley, SHO, and always you can find me at thelauralongleyshow.com. And we've had some really great and insightful guests on the show, and you can listen to archives at the Laura Longley Show as well, lauralongleyshow.com. So while we're waiting for people to call in, I want to share a little bit about some of the tips that are in the free report that I just put up on the website called The Top 5 Ways to Get Unstuck Right Now. And one of the tools that I suggest to people is you just have to know the next step. So many times when we're feeling stuck and having trouble moving forward, I mean, sometimes I'd say we almost feel paralyzed. I know that this has been true for me also. The problem is that we think we have to know every single step in the process to get to the result we want, when the reality is that even if we did know every single step, lots of times once we get going, things shift and change, and we have to be flexible, and it doesn't turn out being step A leads to B, leads to C, all the way to Z. So really, all you have to know is what is the next step. And it doesn't even have to be a big step. It can be something really small, but it starts that momentum of you getting moving in the direction that you want to go. And it gets you out of that place of feeling paralyzed. An example for me personally was about a year and a half ago, I got this idea or notion that I should move from Seattle, and one of the places that I really thought I might want to move to was Edinburgh. And all of a sudden I felt, and that's in Scotland, by the way, Edinburgh, Scotland. So different country, different place. And, I got to a place where I did feel paralyzed. It felt like such a big undertaking to do that. And I was having coffee with a couple of friends of mine who actually had led an intention circle that I was part of for several years. And Mark, one of the leaders of the intention circle, says to me, well, you just have to know what your next step is. And that has so resonated for me ever since then, because he was exactly right. I was paralyzed because I was trying to see all the way through to deciding that I'm going to move to Edinburgh, and how would I move, and what would I do with my cats, and could I work there? Would I need a special visa? All those things, and I hadn't even decided I was going yet. And so the first step was for me to go there and visit for a longer period of time and see what I thought. And so that wasn't even the first step. The first step was to make reservations to do that. So actually, the first step really was to decide, when could I go away for a month and do it? So when you back it way up like that, your first step can be something really small, like, oh, okay, I need to go there and see if I like it. When could I do that? And marking it on the calendar. Another great example of just knowing the next step, or the first step, is, let's say that you have a job where you're not very happy right now, and the idea of finding another job feels pretty scary and overwhelming and hard, and you have to do all these things even before you can start thinking about finding another job, like get your resume updated and maybe have some interviewing skills, and on and on and on. And, you can get your head so full of all those things that you would have to do that you can't do any of it. And so in that case, the first step might be just going online and seeing, okay, what are some of the job posting boards that are relevant to my type of career, and just go and see what they are. Maybe sign up for them, and maybe not even sign up for them, but just go and start looking. So then you're putting your intention out there to the universe. This is a direction that I'm interested in exploring, and you're taking a step in that direction. And this is kind of the analogy of, walking in the dark with a flashlight. I know where I want to get to, but I can't see all the way to the end. I can only see where to put my foot the next step. So that's a great way to get unstuck and unparalyzed, and actually start making some forward movement in an area where you're feeling like you're just stuck and don't know what to do next. And part of this, too, is you want to release expectations. And Sue and I were talking about this at the beginning of the show, about letting go of our expectations, letting go of the attachment to the outcome. And the reason that you want to do this is exactly the example that Sue gave, where here she is healing this woman's arthritis, but the woman was so focused on what she expected, which was that she would continue to have this arthritis and it would continue to affect her life in the ways that it had been affecting her life, that she didn't even notice that the finger had unbent and gone straight and the swelling had gone down. So when we're too focused on what we expect to happen, we can't see the gift, as Sue puts it, of what actually is happening. So that is why whatever you're doing when you want to get unstuck, or in support of trying to get unstuck and make a shift and make a change, is to do the steps that will lead you there, and then let go of what you think it's going to look like when it happens, because you never know. You really don't. It could show up in ways you never would have expected, like with the job search example. So maybe you go out there and you start looking for job boards for your type of career, and later that week you go and have coffee with a friend of yours who happens to mention that their company is hiring. Well, that wasn't what your intention was, what your plan was in terms of how you were going to find a new job. But look what the universe gave you, because you put out there your intention around making a change and finding a new job, and it showed up in a way that you didn't expect. So let go of those expectations. Well, a few announcements before we close things out here. First of all, I want to remind you about the free report that you can get on the website top 5 ways to get unstuck right now. And you can either get that at thelauralongleyshow.com or yourauthenticwisdom.com. And another thing is I've started uploading the radio show archives to YouTube. So if you want to listen to archives and you want to have something visually to look at the same time, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is The Laura Longley Show. And then you'll have something to look at while you listen to the archive. I want to thank my guest today, Sue Elliott, for sharing such great information on having more joy, peace, and ease during the holidays. And I want to thank all of you for tuning into the Dr. Pat Show and listening to me instead, Laura Longley from The Laura Longley Show. I had a great time. Please join me every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific on KKNW in Seattle, WBLQ in Rhode Island, or TransformationTalkRadio.com, and every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, and 1 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. And this coming Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific, I'll be talking with Alan Anderson, who is the author of A Dog Named Leaf, about how Leaf saved his life and how animals in your life can bring you more love and joy. Please join us. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you back here next time.
You've been listening to The Laura Longley Show, where authentic change takes flight. Tune in each Tuesday on TransformationTalkRadio.com at 1 p.m. Pacific Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and on KKNW every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and everywhere on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Join Laura and her friends as they help you create the life that you truly deserve. For more information about Laura, her services, and amazing tools, visit TheLauraLongleyShow.com.
Laura Longley is on a mission to remove stuckness from your life for good and replace it with happiness. Tune in Mondays at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com for The Laura Longley Show, where authentic change takes flight. Say yes to that inspired you and goodbye to your stuckness as Laura and her guests deliver powerful ways to work through common problems in this fun and unique hit show.
What if the world doesn't function the way we've been told? What if we truly can bend the laws of physical reality? What if we can end limitation? What if weird were the coolest thing you could be? And what if it's time for a totally different reality? Are you ready to create it? Are you ready to dream as big as you dare? Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago, I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything in my life changed for me. This is your invitation to step into something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Newton, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Gandhi, Galileo, and Aristotle all knew to be true. It's not about the answer. It's about being the question, always. It's about truly being you, whatever that looks like, and changing this world. Is now the time? Start by signing up for a free video series at beingyouclass.com. That's beingyouclass.com. What if you are the gift and the change this world requires? beingyouclass.com.
Hey Moon, you want to know something groovy?
Yeah, Jess. What's that?
Dr. Pat has been on the radio for 10 years.
10 years? Are you kidding me? That's awesome!
I'll tell you what's awesome. She's bringing back the Pay It Forward campaign and Holistic Makeover to celebrate. If you want to know more or get involved, go to thedrpatshow.com or like us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Dr. Pat Show to get updates about everything we're doing.
Are you feeling stuck? Do you want to be free from fears and doubts and finally feel good about yourself, but you just don't know how to get there? Dr. Schaub's Accelerated Breakthrough Program provides you with the tools and solutions to go beyond your limitations and achieve self-empowered confidence. Call for your free phone consultation at 866-903-MIND. Visit cellularwisdom.com. That's cellularwisdom.com.
You are listening to Transformation Talk Radio, the home of some of the world's most inspiring talk radio hosts. Please stay tuned at the top of the hour. We will be bringing you another amazing, educational, and inspiring show to get you on the path to transforming your life. For more information about us, please visit our website, www.transformationtalkradio.com. That's www.transformationtalkradio.com.